And joining me now here on the back patio of PVIC is the manager of the Interpretive Center, Holly Starr. We always love having you on our show. How are you?
I'm very good, Liz. Thanks so much.
Okay, well, we're here, of course, gorgeous weather. You ordered it up for us. The whales are going by. Well, doesn't get any better than that.
No, it really doesn't.
So talk about life here at the PVIC. How's everything going? As the New Year's kicked in? What's going on here?
Everything's great. We've had both record whales as well as record attendance, if you can imagine. We've been on most of the major networks and in the TV, on the newspapers. And we have new exhibits inside the Interpretive Center as well.
Talk about the Interpretive Center. I mean, we hope that everyone watching, since we're on the peninsula, is coming in and seeing this jewel. But like when they first show up, just kind of give us a play-by-play. I mean, it's just all about the whales and the beauty.
It is all about the whales, and I think what awe-inspires people is when they walk out and see this view. I mean, we've had people come from all over the world saying that this is one of the most beautiful places, if not the most beautiful place in the world. So with Catalina Island in the background and the big Pacific blue, the lighthouse, kind of spiritual, and the cliffs, you know, being on 180 feet above the ocean with the jagged rocks below, it really doesn't get much better than this.
And how many visitors do you think come down here in the course of the year?
We get probably over 100,000 a year. You know, we're still kind of hidden, a lot of locals in Southern Cal, and then we do get international visitors. We've had them come from all over the world.
Now, as the manager of the Interpretive Center, what is your mission? I mean, what is your goal?
To educate and offer people an opportunity to really enjoy themselves here, as well as get to know Rancho Palos Verdes and do a little bit more environmental.
And talk about the education that takes place with the exhibits and also with the docents that bring everybody through.
Yeah, we currently have about 160 volunteers. We also have junior docents now that help us from the local high schools. We lead between 3,000 and 5,000 people a year on either tours through the museum, scheduled tours through the museums, or out on the trails in Rancho Palos Verdes. And that's in addition to the probably 40 to 60,000 that go through the museum on their own.
One of the big things for you, of course, every year is we have Whale of a Day.
Yes, we
Everyone
do.
has a whale of a time here. It's always the first weekend of March, so that's what, March 3rd?
That is correct.
So
First Saturday of March.
So what's going to happen that day here at
Oh,
PVIC?
we have Whale of a Day is spectacular, and parking, of course, is up at City Hall because the parking here is totally taken over by the different activities and vendors. And we have local organizations, everything from the American Cetacean Society to Heal the Bay and the Whale Watchers, Native Plant Society. I mean, basically Save the Sea Otters, anything having to do with the local environment. And then as well as we have, you know, entertainment for the kids. And Mona Dill, my counterpart at City Hall, manages a lot of that now.
And of course, the whales always show up in Whale of Day. And it's really because of the time of year, right? Obviously, March is prime time to catch the whales.
That is correct. You're so right. We have the whales both coming and going, so they're traveling down to Baja and to take their vacation and coming back up from having spent their vacation. It's a lot of whales in a long migration season.
Of course, the focus here, you got the beauty, you've got the landscaping. That look, just to go around and just see all the native plants that are here, it's spectacular.
It is. The native plants, the interior exhibits, we still have plans to do our phase 2 and 3 for the interior and exterior exhibits to give just the people a little bit more when they come.
Now, a day in life here is always different. Like, for example, today you've had classes. The seniors are down here having a class. I mean, a lot of things are always going on here.
That is correct. We are always busy here. And even if all we had was 160 volunteers doing their various projects, that would be one thing. But we have new exhibits. We currently have the whale skeleton, Serena, who's hanging. She's a yearling, about a year, and she had washed up on shore years ago in Mexico and then came to us via the Sea in San Pedro, which closed down.
Lots to do, lots to see here, including you can come here and get married.
That's
I mean,
correct.
People can come here and do all kinds of events.
We have the amphitheater and we have the room, and when it's not being used for the museum, the events take place after 5 when we close, and it's very successful and helps augment some of the fees.
Now, as we just entered 2012, anything you want the community to know in terms of programs that are going on? Any new exciting things? I know you have sleepovers for kids sometimes here. Just
we do.
That kinds of information that you want the community to
have.
We
do. We have a night at the museum that comes up, and that's where 7 to 12-year-olds can come. And we also have a family night at the museum where the parents can stay with the younger kids. And you get to do crafts, and it's kind of fun. We have a great horned owl that's been here just about every night for the last couple of months, sitting on top of our weather vane, so he's fun to see. And then wake up in the morning and find the dolphins or the whales, and it's pretty breathtaking.
Now, I know you've been with the city, I think, over 2 decades with
Oh,
Parks
yes.
and Recs, and you've been with here at the Interpretive Center since the beginning. How have you seen this place evolve? And you must be really excited to see what has become here. It is a jewel.
It is a blessing and a gift to be able to be here for the city, for the community, for the volunteers, certainly. And it has, we expanded from, originally it was supposed to be just signs on the walkway telling you about the whale migration, and it came to a 2,200 square foot building, and then migrated back in 2006 when they reopened with the expansion of almost 10,000 square feet.
Wow. And before we start to wrap it up and start to try to look for some more whales out there, anything you want the community to know? Of course, we want to keep reminding them to come to Whale of a Day.
Whale of a Day.
On March 3rd.
That is correct.
All day long. And also the website, the city website, is a great place to go and find out what's happening here.
Right, and Los Serenos has their Ardocin organization, and they have their own Facebook now, and so you can find them on Facebook, and you also can link to them through the city's website.
And besides coming down here enjoying the Interpretive Center, there's another great way people can get involved, and that is by donating.
That is correct. The donations are tax deductible as allowed by law. They go for the exhibits, and you can also now give to Los Serenos for the tours, to augment some of the tours for the Title I, as well as for some of the local schools. We actually have programs now, I don't think I mentioned that, for all of the 4th grades and 6th graders in the PV school systems to come either to the center or out to Forrestal.
It's such a dynamite resource for everyone to come here. And back to the fundraising, one thing you said, there's a limited opportunity with the whale walkway. I just want people to know that.
It is. We started out with about 185 whales. We've got less than 13 less, and it's very exciting. When we close it out, we will have made more than 200,000 that went into the exhibits here. And the whales go for $2,500 each. And you get to have 3 lines, and they're unique because they're in the shape of a whale, and they're part of one of the first exhibits you see down the walkway. They're actually migrating, so they're bronze whales migrating along the rugged coast that's done in PV stone. And then we also, of course, have the amphitheater where people can have almost a paragraph for $1,500, and all of that funds, except for what goes to pay for the actual plaque, goes back into the museum.
All right, it was all about whales and having whale of a time. I want to know if you have any tricks for spotting whales, because I have a really hard time. I'm listening to all these, whale counters, how they point between the markers and say, there's the spout, there's the fluke. How about you?
For me, I watch the whale watchers, and if they're all binoculared one way, I know that that's the way to be looking. And the best time, we have people call all the time asking us, when's the best time to see whales? And for us, morning, the water is quieter, but it's like asking when a bird's going to land on a branch. You know they're going to be in the tree, but you don't know what branch or what time. So the whales come day and night. It's just for us, we can see them during the daylight, and the water's calmer in the morning. So that's when I like to tell people to come, or basically anytime they have an hour or an hour and a half to have their lunch, come out here, enjoy the day. And it is, even if you don't see whales, they often see dolphins. Certainly there's a ton of different kind of birds and other wildlife, so it's fun, no matter what.
Well, thank you for all you're doing here at PVIC. We'll see you at Whale of a Day for sure.
Thank you, Liz.
All right. All right, I'm now here with Terry Hayes, who is a whale watcher, whale counter out here. How's it going?
Going well. Having a good time today.
How long have you been doing this out here counting whales?
This is my 5th year.
So you're a veteran.
No, no, there are many that are 20-year vets.
And why'd you just start doing this?
Just to get out here, I like the fresh air and peaceful and quiet,
So
serenity.
describe your day to day. A lot of excitement.
Hectic, yes. We had a young whale right in the kelp, and it's something I'd never seen in the 5 years I've been doing this. So,
And the whale seems to really enjoy that kelp experience.
yeah, they play around a lot.
And you're out here having fun playing with your binoculars. What are some of the tricks to the trade to actually spotting these whales for you?
You use use your naked eye to see a blow or a back, and then you use the binoculars. And we have compass built in, so we can,
Now you mentioned earlier seeing the whale in the kelp. That was pretty exciting. But have you ever seen a breaching whale out here in your 5 years? I know that's hard to see.
One breach is all.
And how was that?
It's exciting. Yeah, it's worth it. Makes it all worthwhile.